Do you believe that just a few minutes of proper relaxation could lead you into deep sleep? Without sleeping pills, support devices, or long nights of tossing and turning. It may sound unbelievable, but in reality, thousands of elderly people have been applying a special method, both simple and effective, to noticeably improve their sleep in a short time. And the wonderful thing is, this technique doesn't come from any luxurious secret, but from the body's own ability to self-regulate when guided correctly. Dear friend, if you've ever spent nights lying silently in the dark, the clock pointing to 10 p.m., the room perfectly quiet, yet you remain wide awake as if you had just drunk strong tea, then you are not alone. Many older adults have experienced the same, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and still no sleep. And according to a publication in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, nearly half of people over 60 have difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. Just 10–14 days of sleep deprivation can severely affect the nervous system, memory, heart rhythm, and even immunity. Clearly, sleep is no longer a simple biological habit. It becomes a vital factor for quality of life after middle age. I am Dr. Samuel Grant, a specialist in elderly health with over 30 years of experience working alongside thousands of patients at senior care and rehabilitation centers across the country. And I've noticed, many people are not lacking in determination. They are simply missing the right method to invite sleep to return. In today's video, I will share with you a method once used in harsh environments like the US military, verified at deep meditation centers in Rishikesh, and currently being used in natural sleep treatment facilities in Pune, Hyderabad, and Kochi. Especially in the final part of the video, I will reveal a special technique designed to help soldiers fall asleep in just 2 minutes, even amid the sounds of war. And you can apply it at home in your own familiar space. So stay with me and don't miss it. Before we begin, I would love to know, where are you watching this video from? Leave a comment below. It helps me understand you better, and more importantly, it's how we connect with one another and share this journey of elderly health care in a proactive and positive way. And if you find this topic helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so that each week I can continue bringing you practical, easy-to-apply insights, helping you improve your sleep and maintain health naturally. Now let's begin exploring the first part. Why has sleep become harder after 60, and how can we gradually restore your deep sleep rhythm? Part 1. Causes of poor sleep after 60. It's not just about age. Have you ever wondered why, when you were younger, you could fall asleep just minutes after lying down, but after turning 60, your sleep becomes shorter, lighter, and easily disturbed by even the smallest things? Even when you've had a warm turmeric milk, turned off the lights early, avoided bringing your phone into the bedroom, there are still nights when you toss and turn until 2–3 a.m. without understanding why. The body feels exhausted, but sleep still evades you. In fact, this isn't because you're worse at sleeping than others, but because your body is quietly changing. According to many studies in geriatric neurology, after middle age, the brain begins to produce less melatonin, the key hormone that helps establish and maintain the natural sleep cycle. At the same time, the nervous system becomes more sensitive, causing the brain to react more strongly to light, noise, or even the slightest stimulation during the night. On top of that, some seemingly harmless daily habits may be subtly interfering with your body's signals. A strong cup of tea in the evening, the blue light from a phone screen, or curtains too thin to block streetlights. All of these cause the brain to mistakenly think it's still daytime, delaying melatonin production. As a result, you may feel sleepy but still can't fall into deep sleep. We also can't overlook psychological factors. Many older adults say that even though their bodies are lying still in bed, their minds are still running nonstop. Repetitive thoughts about their children's work, a follow-up doctor's appointment, or monthly expenses go in circles, making it impossible for the brain to shift into rest mode. And when all these factors occur regularly, the body falls into a state of biological imbalance. Sleep no longer comes naturally like it used to, and waking up in the middle of the night, struggling to fall back asleep, becomes the norm. However, the good news is, once you clearly understand the root causes of sleep disruption, you can fully take control and adjust. No need for sleeping pills or complicated interventions. Sometimes, just intentionally changing your sleeping environment can create ideal conditions for your body to restore its natural sleep mechanism. In the next part, I'll share with you how to reset your sleeping environment, including lighting, temperature, and sound, so your body can return to its natural resting state without force or anxiety. Dear friend, if you're still watching at this point in the video, that tells me you're truly serious about your health. Please leave a number 1 in the comments below so I know you're still here with me. Part 2. The sleep environment, the silent foundation for a well-functioning biological rhythm. A quality sleep doesn't begin when you close your eyes. It begins with how you design your surroundings. It may sound simple, but this is the foundational factor that helps activate the secretion of melatonin, the hormone that acts like a switch, signaling the body that it's time to rest. You don't need to turn your bedroom into a luxury spa or buy modern devices. What's needed is just a space that is dark enough, quiet, and has a mild, cool temperature, ideally between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius. When the light dims, the temperature softens, and the environment is still. That is the biological signal the brain has been waiting for to start the natural sleep process. However, in many households, seemingly small factors can cause the body to misinterpret the signals. Streetlights shining into the room through thin curtains, noise from traffic outside, or even the humming of an old ceiling fan, all of these are enough to disrupt melatonin production. At that moment, you may be lying still in bed, but the brain still thinks it's not bedtime yet. The solution doesn't have to be complicated. A dark-colored thick curtain or a soft cloth eye mask can completely help block out the light without needing to change your room's structure. These are small adjustments but extremely practical, especially for older adults whose sleep is already light and easily disturbed. And the most dangerous modern light doesn't come from outside, but from right in your hand. The smartphone. Blue light from the screen, even just a few minutes of news browsing before bed, is enough to delay the brain's biological clock by dozens of minutes. As a result, you lie there waiting for sleep, not realizing that you've just pushed it away with your own hands. That's why an important habit to build is to stop using electronic devices at least 1 hour before bed. Let the room return to its original peace, where the only sounds are the soft fan, the wind on the porch, or sometimes the chirping of crickets at night. But aside from light and devices, there's another crucial factor in regulating biological rhythm. Dinner. In the next part, I'll show you how to choose the right foods and timing so your body doesn't fall out of rhythm before sleep, but instead becomes ready to enter a natural, deep, and uninterrupted rest. Part 3. How to eat dinner so sleep comes easily, balancing digestion and the biological clock. Many people have no idea that dinner can greatly affect the quality of their nighttime sleep. When you eat late or choose meals that are too heavy with oil, spices, or sugar, you are unintentionally forcing your digestive system to work when the body is supposed to be resting. Imagine this. You go to bed, but your stomach is still working overtime to process spicy curry, crispy fried meat, or a richly flavored milk tea. At that point, the nervous system remains highly stimulated, body temperature slightly rises, and the melatonin secretion cycle is delayed. The result? You feel restless, more likely to have vivid dreams or wake up in the middle of the night. It's not just the food, beverages with caffeine, or even light alcohol can affect sleep more than you think. A cup of black tea in the late afternoon can keep caffeine levels in the blood until midnight. Alcohol, while making you sleepy at first, fragments your sleep, making it easy to wake up and hard to fall back into a deep rest. So the rule for dinner is, eat moderately, choose easy-to-digest foods, and finish your meal at least 2–3 hours before bedtime. Dishes like soft porridge, vegetable soup, or plain rice with boiled vegetables are far better options than fried or salty foods. In addition, taking a warm bath about 1–2 hours before bed is also an effective physiological tip. When the body cools down again after bathing, the brain naturally understands that it's time to rest. Just like how the lights at a ceremony slowly dim, it creates a sense of peace and helps the body let go. However, you must understand that sleep is not just a matter of digestion or lighting. It's also about the consent of the central nervous system. And to achieve that, you need to know how to calm the mind, especially in the final moments before bedtime. So in the next part, I will guide you through 3 scientific breathing methods, simple, easy to apply, but capable of soothing the entire nervous system, reducing stress, and helping the body naturally fall into deep sleep. If you're still watching the video at this point, thank you for patiently listening until now. I truly appreciate it. Please leave a number 3 in the comments below so I know I'm not speaking alone. Part 4. 3 scientific breathing methods to relax the nervous system and guide the body into deep sleep. Over many years working with elderly individuals, I've realized an important truth. Sleep cannot be controlled by willpower. It only happens when both the body and the mind enter a state of safety and relaxation. And sometimes, with just a few proper breaths, you can reawaken the natural deep sleep mechanism without the need for medication. The first method is an ancient technique from yoga, called alternate nostril breathing or nadi shodhana. By inhaling through one nostril and exhaling through the other, alternating gently, you're balancing the activity between the two hemispheres of the brain. This helps the nervous system reduce its state of alertness, slows the heart rate, and sends a signal to the brain that you are in a safe state ready to rest. The second method is breath counting, a simple yet highly effective way to stabilize the mind. You can count from 1 to 10 with each exhale, then return to 1 if the mind drifts. Or you can count backward from 100 to 1. This steady counting acts like a lullaby, soothing the emotional center of the brain and creating space for deep relaxation to begin forming. The third method is 4-7-8 breathing, a technique developed by doctors specializing in integrative medicine. You inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. This breathing rhythm helps decrease activity in the sympathetic nervous system, the part that triggers anxiety, and allows the body to slip into a naturally relaxed state after just a few breathing cycles. What all three techniques have in common is this: they require no equipment or special space, only repetition and your full presence in the moment. Whichever method you choose, practice it slowly, steadily, and without rushing. Over time, your body will begin to remember and respond more positively. And if, after regulating your breathing, sleep still hasn't come, it's likely that your body is still holding onto some silent tension. In the next part, I'll share with you a full-body relaxation method, once trained to US soldiers, that can help you fall asleep within just 2 minutes, even in high-pressure conditions. Part 5. Step-by-step full-body relaxation, a technique to help you drift off even in stressful environments. In the military, sleep isn't something to wait for, it's something that must be achieved actively, regardless of noise, stress, or strong lighting. That's why a special relaxation technique was taught to soldiers so they could fall asleep within 2 minutes. The amazing thing is, you can also apply this method at home, easily and completely naturally. Start by lying down in a relaxed position, no tension, no effort. Imagine you are placing your body on a soft mattress, light as cotton, and all your tension is slowly melting away under your own weight. Begin with your face, where most tension accumulates. Close your eyes and allow the muscles around your forehead, eyes, and cheeks to relax. Gently release your jaw, letting your lips part naturally as if you're breathing in a dream. When your face no longer holds expression, the brain will recognize that you're no longer in defense mode, and that's the beginning of sleep. Next, bring your attention to your shoulders and arms. Let go of each section, from upper arms to elbows, wrists, and fingers. You can imagine a stream of warm water slowly flowing down your arms, carrying away all the day's stress. Then shift focus to your chest and abdomen. Feel your breathing naturally becoming deeper and slower. With each exhale, you're releasing pressure, calming the heart, and expanding a peaceful space within. Lastly, focus on your legs, the part that supports your body all day. Allow each joint, hips, knees, calves, feet, and toes, to release one by one. You can picture your entire body melting into the mattress weightless with no more resistance. And then, even when your body has completely quieted down, sometimes the mind still doesn't want to stop. That's when you need a special bridge, your imagination. In the next part, I'll guide you on how to use imagery, sound, and positive emotional memories to calm the mind, as if you're walking through a familiar garden, where only peace and gentle sleep await. Part 6. Imagination and sound, mental tools to awaken the feeling of safety in sleep. After the body has relaxed, many people still cannot fall asleep simply because the mind hasn't rested yet. Endless thoughts, from unfinished tasks to vague worries, keep circling around. And it is in those very moments that imagination becomes a naturally effective escape. You don't need to force your mind to erase all thoughts. Instead, gently guide it into a peaceful setting. It could be a village road lined with bamboo, a backyard garden at dawn with dew still on the leaves, or a quiet beach with gentle waves lapping steadily. Imagine it as vividly as possible. The colors, the sounds, the air, even the scent, so the brain can sense this is a safe place. This feeling of no longer being threatened activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for relaxation and deep sleep. When the mind believes there is nothing to guard against, the body will automatically switch into rest mode. In addition to imagery, natural sound also acts as a gentle background layer. The sound of soft rain, flowing water, or wind brushing through tree branches can soothe feelings of loneliness or restlessness at night. Low-frequency music, such as 432 Hz, has been used in meditation to calm brain waves and reduce stress. You can also turn to podcasts with steady, slow narration like Sleep With Me, or use apps such as Calm, Insight Timer, or Headspace, specifically designed for adult sleep support. Of course, if you're dealing with chronic insomnia, you should still consult a medical professional. But if it's just occasional restlessness, then gentle tools like imagery and sound can absolutely help soothe the brain naturally without relying on medication. And if your mind still hasn't truly let go, even after music or peaceful visualization, then you may need a few simple mental games designed not to stimulate but to help the brain shut off naturally. Let's explore that in the next part. Part 7, Gentle Mental Games, taking the brain out of the analytical loop to open the door to sleep. For many older adults, the problem isn't whether they feel sleepy. It's that the mind keeps analyzing and evaluating, even when the body is already settled in bed. And it's precisely this mental activity that pushes sleep further away bit by bit. When that happens, you don't need to force yourself to think positively or stop thinking, because the more you try, the more active the brain becomes. The simpler solution is, give your brain a small game to shift its attention elsewhere without putting it under cognitive pressure. One easy way is the mental alphabet game. Pick any letter and think of an animal, a food, or an object that starts with that letter. For example, D, dog, dinner, drum. Keep going letter by letter. This doesn't create deep thought patterns, but it's enough to redirect the mind away from long-running thought cycles. You can also try random associations: a monkey, a cup of tea, an oil lamp, a tablecloth. When there's no logical connection, the brain cannot analyze. At that point, it will slowly rest and shift into passive observation, the ideal state before sleep. Another way is to imagine yourself releasing a leaf onto the surface of the water, and each time a thought appears, you place it on the leaf and let it drift away. No clinging, no pushing, just observing and letting go. These imagination games may seem very light, but they strongly affect the part of the brain responsible for control and planning, which is often the culprit behind insomnia even when you're exhausted. When that area is allowed to rest, the body can naturally transition into sleep without resistance. And after everything we've explored together, from breathing, space, imagery, and sound, to imagination, the most important thing is not which method you choose, but how consistently you repeat it. In the next part, I'll guide you on how to connect all of these elements into a steady routine, so that deep sleep is no longer a random event, but becomes a natural part of your daily rhythm. Part 8. The biological foundation of sleep: how to maintain habits that help seniors sleep deeply every night. After applying several techniques, such as slow breathing, visualizing peaceful scenes, or adjusting bedroom lighting, you may be wondering, how can these things not only work for a few nights, but actually become a stable part of my daily life? Well, the answer in my clinical experience lies in a foundational yet often overlooked factor: consistency in biological rhythm. The human body, whether young or old, operates on an innate biological clock. And that clock only works effectively if you program it with a clear, regular daily schedule. Many of my elderly patients have the habit of sleeping late on some nights, then trying to go to bed early the next. This throws the body off balance because it doesn't know when to release melatonin or when to calm the nervous system. As a result, no matter how much you relax, sleep still arrives very slowly. The solution isn't rigid control, but creating a consistent bedtime and wake-up time, like setting a regular appointment for your body. For example, if you choose to sleep at 10 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m., try to maintain that rhythm as steadily as possible, even on weekends. Once you establish a fixed golden hour for sleep, all the supporting techniques, breathing, calming sounds, or peaceful visualization, become much more effective. Because at that point, the body has already been programmed to enter rest mode, and all you're doing is gently guiding it, not forcing it. Think of it as creating your own personal pre-sleep ritual, nothing fancy, just familiar. A glass of warm water, a 4-7-8 breathing cycle, a few relaxing images in your mind. If repeated consistently each night, these small things become signals for the nervous system, helping you fall asleep naturally without effort. And if at times you feel these techniques aren't strong enough to bring you into sleep, don't worry. In the final part, I'll share with you a deep visualization technique, like a backup key to unlock deep sleep, especially suitable for older adults whose minds tend to stay busy at night. Part 9, Reconnecting with a safe refuge in the mind, a gentle doorway into sleep. Through many years of working with elderly patients, I've discovered a crucial truth. Deep sleep doesn't only come from a relaxed body or a quiet environment. It also comes from an inner sense of safety, something we can awaken ourselves if we know how to use imagination at the right moment. Try closing your eyes and bringing your mind back to a place tied to your most peaceful memories. It could be the soft sound of waves on a familiar childhood beach, the early morning in your home garden where you once sat sipping tea, or the image of golden rice fields under a sunset you once walked through. The more specific, the better: the color of the sky, the scent of damp earth, the cool breeze brushing your skin. These details activate the brain's positive emotional center, taking you away from racing thoughts and into a passive observation state, the biological foundation for natural sleep to occur. One highly effective technique I often recommend is guided imagery. You can whisper short phrases to yourself like, "I'm walking down a path beneath bamboo trees. I hear the wind gently brushing past my ears." Or, "I feel the cool ground beneath my feet." When the mind is gently led like this, brain waves slow down and the body begins to feel naturally sleepy. If there's still a lingering sense of mental busyness, try adding a gentle mental game. Pick a random letter and name flowers, animals, or foods that begin with it. This disrupts excessive logical processing, which is often the culprit behind sleeplessness in older adults. When you practice these positive visualizations nightly, they stop being techniques and become a familiar rhythm, like a gentle breath that takes you away from the busy world and back into your personal resting space, naturally, effortlessly. Dear friend, the most important thing I want to share with you is not about any one specific method, but about understanding your body and being gentle with yourself. Sleep won't come if you worry about it, but it will return if you know how to create a peaceful harbor both physically and mentally. Whether you start with breathing, imagination, soft sounds, or simply turning off the lights 15 minutes earlier, every action, if repeated long enough and with patience, becomes a brick rebuilding the foundation of the deep sleep you truly deserve. If my sharing has brought you relief, or a new idea to begin your sleep journey, I warmly invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, so I can continue walking with you each week with gentle yet practical insights made just for our age group. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. I wish you a peaceful night and a deep, fulfilling sleep as gentle as your most beautiful memories. See you again in the next video. I am Dr. Samuel Grant, always ready to walk with you in every breath of a healthy, joyful elderhood.